Thanks for doing this, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
How you holding up?
Good. Healthy, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's okay. Everybody's healthy in my house, so that's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The fam keeping you busy, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
To say the least.
I feel like all I do is dishes. It's like actually crazy.
And drop music though. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah. Dishes and music.
I'm sure they explained to you how the pandemics work, but basically none of these questions are going to come from me. They're all from your fans across the country and really the world.
Cool.
But before that, I just want to talk about the new single that you did drop, the new track with Cheap Cuts to Check Your Phone. Is this like something that you had planned before quarantine, or was this a product of quarantine?
No, this was we recorded it about 4 months ago, something like that, and then it got a little eerie because some of the lyrics in it, I was like, oh my God, I feel like people are gonna think I recorded this like 2 days ago. But we shot the video. It's not like shot the video, but kind of like put it together. That we did in quarantine, so that aspect of it. But yeah, no, it was like just kind of like an idea that these guys Cheap Cuts had originally come up with, but it really like spoke to me, like the idea that you know, I'm on my phone basically all the time, and it's kind of, you know, like it creates like a dichotomy in me, you know, like where I look at funny videos, like this funny video of like a groundhog eating a pizza, you know, or whatever, that one on the people's front porch, but then I like have all this anxiety from all the other stuff that I look at. It's like the world is at your fingertips, and I don't know, you know, it's like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a different sounding song than maybe you would expect from you guys and the band. But I remember you were in New York not too long ago, and we did a really great chat. Remember, like Billie Eilish kicked you out of the room?
Totally.
That was great, right? You guys took a great picture too. But no, so we had an abbreviated chat there, Pete. But you and I really were talking about the changes in what alternative music is and what it was and what it continues to evolve into. And this song sort of reminds me of, like, I think that there's like a bit of like abrasiveness missing in alternative music, maybe a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And this definitely reminds me of, like, anything from like a Fatboy Slim to, like, I think there's elements of like Cake in this from the 90s, and or even like, do you remember like that Sunscreen song? Like,
yeah, that was like
Lerman?
one of the biggest influences, Sunscreen. Yeah, the
Dude,
Boz
right?
song. So I've been trying to make that song for like 10 years, and I don't feel like I've ever gotten the recipe right. Like, it's been too angry, and then it's been too soft, and then this one felt, because that song really had this sweet spot, like, and people who haven't heard this song, you should check it out. It was like massive one year in the 90s. But it's like this like commencement speech over a rad track, and it's just irreverent, you know what I mean? Like it like nails this like really like it's like a sliver of like where it's funny, but it's like speaks to you, and it's not condescending, it's really hard to nail that,
Yeah. You could argue that's like the only piece of advice that was 3 minutes, like, that you might need for life. You know
Totally.
what I mean?
Yeah, I was listening to it yesterday or the day before yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, it's like got a lot of real, actually good advice in it.
Oh, crazy. Well, that's cool. So that's kind of where your head was at, maybe making the new track.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I think that to me, like I have a lot of anxiety, and just like, like this is a strange time, and it's a strange time because we're all kind of have some of the same fears and some of the same thoughts going on, I think. And so like, you're sitting there being creative there, and I'm trying to, like, I just think it's important to keep going and doing the things you do, and do some things that maybe you didn't expect that you were going to do, like drawing a picture or read a book or checking with a friend you haven't checked in with. I think it's important to keep doing things to keep your mind healthy and to keep, just moving along.
Totally. I think, I mean, and you as an artist and a creative, I think you'll attest to this, is like, the obstacles that were, I guess, initially obstacles, right, traditionally, have now, I think, become opportunities to express creativity in a new way. Like, I know you're a big hip hop guy. Like, have you been watching any of the DJ battles?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I've been watching some of the song battles, and
love it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think that, like, I was just thinking about this, and it's a great point. It's like sometimes when you reduce the toolbox, it forces people to kind of think in ways you wouldn't think. So I keep seeing all these like TikToks that are crazy. They're basically like Scorsese films, like shot in like an apartment in New York. I'm like, this is
crazy,
amazing. It's inspiring because you see creativity, I think, that you wouldn't expect from, I don't know, or maybe you wouldn't actually expect to see otherwise.
Yeah, and it's cool. There's something like unifying in that, at least like through my eyes, is like seeing
For
all the
sure.
creatives in the world come together, and it's rad. You guys being like such like, if you will, like torchbearers of your sound, and when you want to call it alt, pop, rock, whatever, you guys fall into so many different buckets. Would you ever do a battle back and forth? Because I think that would be really cool if Fall Out Boy, or if you went like, you know what I mean, like you versus whether it's like a, you know, a Weezer or Green Day, or do you have like a dream opponent for that scenario?
Like, I'm not the kind of person that is really good at like self-hype, so I would feel like I would lose, and we would lose in just about anything. There would be fun ones though. Like, I think that the most fun ones to me, are when the people are actually like friends with each other. Like, so if you did it with like Brendan from Panic at the Disco, or like, I don't know, somebody that like, like, you know, Rivers would be a fun one. Like somebody that you know, because then you can be like honest and you can have fun, and it can be, you know, cause you know what I mean? Like, but Weezer would be insane. They got like smashes from many decades, you know? So yeah, I mean, it would be fun to do though. Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed you might get something like that. All right, let's get into these fan questions, because there are a bunch of them, and they're all great. This comes from 1981 EXT Play, and they say, is there any artist you haven't worked with yet, either as a solo artist or with Fall Out Boy, that you're dying to collaborate with?
There's lots, honestly. I would say my top three are, I think I've always said Rihanna. I think she's awesome. I just actually posted like a little clip of when we were played as her backing band, and she's like into heavy music and has I don't know, she's got like really interesting and great taste. Kid Cudi's another one that I think that he's just like humming on a track is kind of amazing. And then one that we talked about a bunch of times is Skrillex and Sonny, who is a dear friend that we used to take out on tour when he was in a band called From First to Last. We talked about it like maybe in February or something like that, around the Grammys, about doing something, you know, like I don't know. And I think it would be cool. I think that him doing kind of like a rock track would be really rad. And I even suggested, I was like, you should do a song with like Metallica or a band like that, because I just feel like he's got such a great rock sensibility, but he can like mix it with something that's really current. So yeah.
Dude, speaking of strange link-ups, I don't know if you've been asked this ad nauseum, but I've never talked to you about it. Is how did you guys get Jay on the record back in the day?
So he was the president of Def Jam at the time when we were on Island Def Jam, so it was the same label. And we basically, like, after we put out our first record, they kind of were like, what are your asks? Like, what are the things you want? We were like, we want Jay-Z on the record. And I think they didn't expect that at all. But I remember they were like, okay, he's down to do it. Because him and Beyonce used to come to our shows at, like, Irving Plaza, which was wild. And they were like, he's down to do it. He's in Australia. And basically, you're gonna call his assistant, and then they'll put him on the phone because he wants to talk to you about it. And so we were sitting there, me and Patrick were talking about how, like, we were like, how do you ask for Jay-Z? You know, like when you call the assistant, like, what do you, like, can we speak to Mr. Carter? Like, what is the reference, you know? And we called, and he answered the phone, what up, this Hove? And it was just like, it threw the whole thing off, because we thought we were going to talk to an assistant first. So the whole thing was a hot mess from there on. But like, we have a whole, there's a whole outtake of him of him ad-libbing over the whole track, actually, somewhere.
Oh, it's amazing. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that story. Let's get to Brooke Draws. Hey, Pete, what bands or genres are you most excited about right now? It's my birthday on the 16th, I guess, which is today, so happy birthday, Brooke. And I'm celebrating with lots of Fall Out Boy. So I guess the question there is, what bands or genres are you most excited about right now?
Well, I'd say happy birthday, first and foremost. Quarantine birthdays, I think, can be kind of probably odd, but there'll be ones that you'll remember forever, you know. My youngest daughter is going to have one next week, and, you know, in some ways it's kind of like, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to like plan a kid's party, so this is amazing. It's like a mulligan. Just kidding, Marvel. We have a big thing planned. I would say the things that I've been listening to most recently are I've been listening to like a lot of like bedroom, like people that kind of like make all their stuff on a laptop or whatever, and it's not like pop, or it's just kind of like this own sound or something, you know. And I just think it's been, you know, like I know that Billie Eilish did it, you know, like Phineas did it, like it's like that kind of thing where somebody's just like making sounds, and it like you can feel that it's like creativity from a very pure place, it feels like, you know, which is really cool and inspiring. And then beyond that, I just listen to stuff that people send me. Like people like I think know that I have, because I have a label or something, so that people send me stuff all the time. So I'm always listening to like stuff where a lot of it I'm like, I don't even know what kind of music, you know, like I have no, like if you sent Check Your Phone to somebody, it'd be the same reaction where you're just like, I don't even know what this is. But
but dude, that's the best.
I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try.
Totally. Speaking of that bedroom stuff, I just talked to an artist yesterday that I was super late on. I'd heard the name, but kind of in that same ilk of Tate McRae. You ever listen to Tate McRae?
I haven't, but I will.
Yeah, check it out, man. If you dig that bedroom stuff, and Phineas and Billy, she's really exciting. Like only 16, but really cool.
Yeah. I'm really proud that I have advanced to this point in my life where if somebody asks me about a song or an artist, I'm not doing like the junior high thing where I'm like, yeah, no, I heard that. Yeah. I feel good about that. You know what I mean? That's like that was a big step for me.
Yeah. No, that's a level of security I hope.
You know, like it gets you get into less weird situations where then you get like, they're like, what's your favorite song? And you're like, they're like,
how can I choose, man?
Yeah, the old ones.
Yeah. The greatest hits album's the best. All right, let's get to a couple more of these. This comes from Raneem Lala. Is there any other projects currently in the works during this quarantine time?
Any other projects in the works? I am going to work on some other new songs. Like, I'm going to work on another song with the guys from Cheap Cuts, and then work on some other stuff. And then I don't know. It's interesting. Like my neighborhood is like, so 2 houses over from me, there's like a guy who sings, and then one house next door, the guy's son plays drums, and then one house over from that, there's a guitarist. So I was like, maybe our cul-de-sac will just start a band. I don't know.
Dude, that'd be, are these just like dudes?
Right? Yeah.
That'd be so awesome. Like, that's so punk rock.
It could be cool.
Hell yeah. Pete, I love that headline. All right, let's go to Music Lover 09. What is the one thing always on your mind right before you go on stage?
Honestly, the thing I think right before we go on stage is probably no one's going to be there and no one's going to care, which is a really weird thing to think, but that's basically what I think right before we go on.
To this day?
Yeah. Yeah, I basically think that, like, maybe it's all over.
Is that because you feel so lucky that you've had this run?
I don't know. No, I think it's like probably like a deeper, weirder trauma or something.
Okay.
That I need to unpack on a couch. But no, I think it's more like, you know, like that feeling you get in your stomach before you play, like you played a game when you were a kid, like a sports game or something. Where
yeah.
Like, we're probably going to get blown out. And then you get out there and you like somehow play pretty okay.
Yeah.
So, no, maybe it's like setting the bar low, or setting expectations low, or I don't really know what it is.
Or that one sleepover when you were 10 and no one showed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, really quick, Pete, just be careful with your, I think you might be covering the speaker on your end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
I should have this on like a rig of some kind, but I don't.
Bro, I just got this thing. I feel like Scorsese. You're talking about Scorsese
yours feels professional.
We're trying. All right, what's the next one? What's your favorite lyric you've ever written? This is a huge question if you can maybe name one of your favorites. And what has meant the most to you? Lyric.
I have a hard time doing that because I honestly like don't really love a lot of the stuff after it's been written. Just like I can only see the flaws or things I wish we'd done differently. I guess I like lyrics when you can get like a double entendre or triple entendre. Like there's one on Folie à Deux, where it's like the only thing suicidal here are the doors, and it was like a reference to mental health and suicide doors, I guess. Right. I don't know. Yeah.
You're such a low-key rapper, dude. You know what I mean? I love it.
I wish.
All right, what do we got here? Diane Gold says, Pete, what have you been binge watching during quarantine besides Tiger King, of course? Also, can we expect more Ronin items anytime this year?
Okay, well, as we can expect more Ronin items. Right now, the studio where we sample them and kind of create them and design them is not open. It's in Los Angeles, but I think he's going to kind of open it on his own and just be the only guy working in there. So hopefully that'll get going before fall. And then binge watching, me and my 11-year-old started like kind of like a cinema club, and we've been watching like just a lot of movies, a lot of them ones from like kind of like 80s, 90s, and then we rate them like very honest ratings. And then we just started watching This Is Us, which I'm like 100 years late on, but I was like, oh my God, this is like the best show. I understand, you know, like it's so annoying sometimes when people like are like, a whole culture talks about a show or something and you're like, totally. I don't care or whatever. I missed out on this one and I feel bad about it, and now I'm psyched. I'm in.
That's awesome. I'm going through the same thing with Sopranos right now. Never saw it and just mind blowing.
Totally. You're in the Sopranos hive now. Welcome.
All right, a couple more. We got about probably a couple more minutes with Pete. Melissa Emily wants to know, which album tour was your favorite?
They're all like really different, you know, like, so if you're playing clubs or you're playing arenas or whatever, it's really different. Two that stick out to me, and they're not far apart from each other, and they were both in amphitheaters, were the tour we did with Wyclef and the tour we did with Paramore. And they were just both, you know, like I think lots of times you try to go like 1 + 1 = 3, you know, but lots of times you don't do the math quite right, you know, as far as like, you know, like us and them somehow will be bigger than it. And I think in both those cases, and they were just such different kinds of music, but in both those cases, the fans checked out each other's stuff, and it just felt like it was a bigger moment, which is cool.
Totally. Sidebar, not a tour that was your own, but I think one of the most unique tours when you think about the context of popular culture and you know, arguably underground scene just colliding while you're hit on the road is the 05 Warped Tour, of course.
Oh yeah.
When you think of, I mean, you know, you're literally taking over the pop world, whether it be MTV or pop radio at the time, while being on this punk rock festival that whole summer. What's your lasting memory? Like, if I were to ask you at the top of your head, what do you remember most about that summer Warped Tour? What would it be?
I think the biggest memories from that summer Warped Tour were my two moments that I really remember were the bus that we were on. It was maybe the first or second bus we were ever on, and the air conditioning broke down on it. And I remember driving in this, like, it was like a sweat lodge or something. And I remember one day the power, or like the outlets went out as well, because we had fans that we put in the hallway, and those went out. And I remember looking out at the fans, like when they were broken, and then seeing one of our guys take the fan and he's throwing it down the hall. And I remember just ducking into my bunk and the fan going by. And I'll always remember that. And then the other thing I remember is we parked in public parking we parked in the public parking on that tour. I don't know if that's how Warped Tour always is, but that's where we parked. And I remember coming out to brush my teeth, and like there's like a ton of kids and people outside, and that was the moment where it felt like, oh my God, like our band is on TRL right now. You know, like it sunk in a little bit, because I think sometimes when you're like, when you're on, fan like a fan that blows air.
No one was assaulted in that story.
When you're on on tour or traveling, you don't really see all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm happy you said that, because that's what always stuck out to me about what's so unique about your band and that situation, is that when you do break, and it's such a wild ride and it's such a magical thing the first time you break on through as an act, but like you're not necessarily being able to see it grow viscerally in front of you day by day, which is really cool, or had to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, but in a weird way, like it was also like all of our moments got like impacted into like it happened so fast that it's like you need to be with the other guys in the band, or else you just like I don't even remember half the stuff that, you know what I mean? Like it just mind blowing. Matt, by the way, would be the singer in our cul-de-sac band.
Oh, we got the singer.
Yeah, he popped in for a second. He's out, I think.
love it.
But
all right, final question, Pete, and thank you very much for the time.
We realize that we're in the hat phase of quarantine right now.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
you know, we're in hat week now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Just calling us out, man. The struggle is very real. All right, let's get to Zini AE. Says, hi, Pete. At first, I want to say that you are a huge inspiration to me and most of my friends, and we want to thank you for that. My question is, how do you deal with anxiety during this time? And do you have any tips for me to how to stay calm?
Oh, man, I think that it's interesting because, like, you know, a lot of people have the same fears, and in some ways that can make you feel less alone, I think, because, you know, everybody's going through the same thing. It doesn't really matter if you're a guy in a band or, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Everybody's dealing with the same thing, I think, outside of people who are on the frontline workers. And I think that, I mean, whether it's meditation or doing creative things or, you know, like you have to find ways to calm your mind. I think that that's really important. And so for me, I do like a guided meditation, and then I try to check in with my friends all the time because you're not seeing people, you know, or you shouldn't be seeing people probably. So, you know, FaceTime your friends, check in with people that you either don't usually see or you don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think that that's important. Yeah. It's important to feel like you're still part of something.
Yeah, absolutely. Community. Absolutely. All right. Well, Pete, you've been the video out.
The video's out too. Yeah. It's just a lyric video, but check it out. Oh man. And we are wearing tie-dye too. Tie-dye and hats. It's tie-dye and hats. All right. Good.
Dude. We're twinning, dude. We're twinning. Thanks, dude. Hey, and by the way, this is what I'll leave you with. Think about that battle. Think about that Weezer Fall Out Boy battle.
Check in with me, man. I'm down to do it.
I'm putting it out there. Thanks, Pete.
All right. Later, bro.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications from radio.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out some of our other great videos.